Atlanta is considered the capital of the rap sound and is also home to such notable industry representatives as Young Thug, Future, and Playboi Carti. Often these artists refer to criminal gangs they are directly involved with in their lyrics. One such gang that has gained notoriety in recent times has been the Homicide Gang. We are not talking about the signers of Playboi Carti's label Opium, but about a full-fledged criminal organization based in Atlanta. The gang's activities were actively discussed in the media and mentioned in the music of Playboi Carti, especially often heard the name Problem Child, after which Carti and Travis Scott named their joint composition, which recently hit the net. In this article, we take a look at who Homicide Gang and the directly related Problem Child are. The first mention of the group in the media dates back to the release of Future and Young Thug's collaborative album Super Slimy, where in the track All the Smoke Future says, "Homicide Gang, they will put you on Fox." This is a reference to the fact that after a conflict with a gang, the opponent may be shown on the news in the context of the victim.
Cut your frames, cut your rings, cut your socks. Homicide Gang, they gon' put you on Fox.
The grouping has also been referenced in tracks such as Flex Up, Rockstar Made, Stop Breathing, Bano, Sticks Up, Homicide, and They Mad. As you can see, the group was frequently featured in the compositions of Atlanta's biggest artists, garnering their direct support. The group is mostly associated with Playboi Carti, who was directly involved in the gang war with the Henchman group. Carti frequently appears on the social media accounts of the gang members, especially in their territory under the name Backstreet. An important figure in this story is Lil 1 DTE, who even has a joint song with Carter called Homicide. It is worth noting that Lil 1's father is known under the pseudonym Big Bank and is a respected personality in the circle of criminal groups in Atlanta. Now we should consider the opposition, the Front Street Henchmen, one of the most hostile groups in Atlanta, which is also in active conflict with Backstreet Homicide. Henchmen opponents include Young Thug's YSL-based YSL and 4L. From this we can conclude that henchmen are in conflict with the most influential and dangerous groups in the city. The most famous henchman artist is Ola Runt, whose behavior is characterized by frequent clashes with the law, including police chases and other illegal activities. Ola is currently under FBI surveillance in the Major Crimes Unit. According to the FBI, Playboi Carti is actually in conflict with one of Atlanta's most dangerous criminal elements.
He looked great, he had the 350 sound. I was 21 with a Glock 26, just walked in the liquor, my op and they beat.
However, Ola Runt is not the only artist associated with henchmen. It's worth mentioning 24 Left Eye and Benji Bluebills, who was referenced by Carti in the track Different Day.
Whipping the hell with a Fendi. Yeah, I was looking for Benji. I had smoke at Mean Street.
Thus, we have an idea of the key figures in this confrontation. It is noteworthy that Ola and Carti were previously on friendly terms that did not last long. At one point, the friendship turned into public insults and armed conflicts, the reason for which was the insult of Carti's cousin in a track by one of the Front Street members. It is important to realize that the conflict between the factions did not start because of Carti's Playboi, but for a different reason. Big Bank, father of Lil 1 DTE and founder of the label Duct Tape Entertainment, had a pretty close relationship with Carti. In some of the videos, Jordan can be seen wearing the label's merch. Previously, Big Bank supported Ola Runt in every way possible and tried to organize meetings for him with artists like Future, Meek Mill, 21 Savage and others. The reason for the conflict between Big Bank and Ola remains unknown to this day. What is known is that the henchman member said the following about Big Bank: "People my age tell me not to trust him," after which he released a diss track titled Mob Father, directed not only against label owner DTE, but also against all of Backstreet. Ola then severed his relationship with the Homicide Gang and held live shows insulting Playboi Carti, who is close to the group.
Everybody be goddamn trying to come up off you. These niggas be dick sucking, dick riding, dick sucking, like, oh my God. How you know I even had that song out? Dick riding that nigga. How the hell you didn't know my Instagram name?
Following these events, rapper Lil 1 DTE openly spoke in live broadcasts about plans to commit mass murders in the Henchman neighborhood for disrespect, mentioning 24 Left Eye as potential victims, among others. Playboi Carti, known for his low social media activity, did not immediately react to these events. However, that changed after the death of Jordan's close friend, one of Homicide's key members named Sosa. Sosa and Carti would often appear together in the studio, at basketball games and elsewhere. There is even a picture of Sosa wearing Carti's chain. All of this is evidence of a close friendship that was cut short by the actions of the henchman faction. The murder of someone so important to the faction was a real tragedy for Homicide. Carti even changed his Twitter name to RIP Sosa, and artists from the group are still paying their respects to their fallen comrade. R5 Homicide, who is now known for signing to Carti's label, dedicated his full-length release to the deceased, calling it Everything for Sosa. Carti spoke on the event at a performance at the Rolling Loud festival. "I was thinking about my brother. You know, I lost my brother. His name was Sosa. I love him so much."
When I made this song, I was thinking about my brother. You know, I lost my brother recently. His name was Sosa, and I really loved him so much, and y'all just... You know what I'm saying? We could talk about this another day. I just gotta understand, like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I got two different lives. And when I'm not being King Vamp and not this other shit, I'm in the streets for real. So let's do it.
While one faction mourned, the other celebrated their success. Ola Runt and 24 Left Eye decided to make matters worse by insulting the late Sosa on Instagram stories, where 24 Left Eye wrote, "Sosa is smoking too hard today, or am I going crazy?" which was then followed by a series of mutual insults.
As you can see, I'm geek. The Sosa is on me. Happy motherfucking birthday. We're going up all fucking day. Sosa in the air all fucking day. Let's go!
It is noteworthy that the three were previously friends. In old photos, they can be seen together, which gives the situation an ironic and sad character. Homicide's silence soon came to an end when Carti released his highly anticipated album Whole Lotta Red, where he spoke out against the henchmen in the track Stop Breathing. In an interview about the making of this track, Carti says it is dedicated to his late brother Sosa. In response to a local diss from the henchmen, Carti mocked them to a wide audience and also told the world about Lil Demon, Benno, and R5. The content of the track reflects the thoughts of Jordan, who has ties to criminal gangs, on retribution after the death of a loved one. Separately, Carti mentioned Ola Runt, who by then was in prison, saying, "I had a friend who cut Ola up for a pie." The henchman responded to Jordan immediately afterward, with Ola himself writing from prison, "Dis don't bring back dead friends." Benji Bluebills, mentioned earlier, released a remix of the track Stop Breathing, called Stop Bleeding, immediately after the album's release, where he mocks Sosa.
Ever since my brother died, I've been thinking about homicide. I had a nigga shake all up for 5. I had a nigga shake all up for.
The story continued with mutual insults and conflicts. More interesting is the discussion of a new figure that has recently appeared in the music of Carti and his entourage, Problem Child. Problem Child is an Atlanta-based rapper who signed a multi-million-dollar contract with Future a few years ago before ending up incarcerated on murder charges.
Hit a switch on us a foot. Hit a switch on.
Little is known about Problem Child's personal life, but he said on the 2020 podcast that Big Bank was like a father figure to him, citing a close relationship with a prominent Atlanta figure. This immediately indicates which side of the conflict Problem Child was on.
I got big smoke, hit it one time real dope. He got rich folks, he ain't never ever.
Big Bank has been around Problem Child since he was born. The latter even struck up a friendship with his son Lil 1 DTE and the late Big Sosa.
That process of how Problem Child, fresh out.
Problem Child first went to jail in 2008 and has been there multiple times since. The artist's life has alternated between being in the studio and returning to incarceration. Problem Child's close friend at the time was Ola Runt, who went to prison for 5 years immediately after Problem Child's arrest. In 2018, Ola Runt was released and immediately gained attention by recording a joint track with Gucci Mane. Gucci wanted to sign a contract with Ola, but in the end, the deal didn't materialize due to some disagreements, mainly of a financial nature. It would seem that the two friends were supposed to support each other and succeed in the rap industry together, but everything changed after the conflict between Ola and Big Bank. After these events, Ola also insulted Problem Child by mocking his father, Big O, who was a clergyman. After these and other insults, Problem Child recorded a retaliatory diss on Ola, where he threatened him and criticized him for moving away from street life.
I heard they looking for King Outward, bitch, I'm back now. They tried to run me out my hood, that where I'm at now.
The conflict was initially limited to the confines of social media, but in June 2020, Sosa, who was with Problem Child at the time, died. Not long before, Problem Child had announced a multi-million-dollar contract with a well-known Atlanta artist, and a short time later, his best friend was murdered in front of him. The tragedy left a deep mark on Problem Child's life, but the events that followed were pivotal. After 24 Left Eye and Ola insulted Sosa's memory, the former was soon wounded in the street. The injuries turned out to be non-fatal, and immediately after the incident, Lil One DTE went live on air with Problem Child and took responsibility for the incident.
I'm bored. Me too. I'm just smoking up, Pat, talking to my young niggas, mad. Cause at the end of the day, these niggas fucking Lil Left Eye have never did a crime in his life. That's on my mama. If he probably did a burglary.
In 2020, Problem Child released his debut album titled King Op, where collaborative tracks with Future and Young Thug took him to a new level in the industry. But right after that, when life seemed to start getting better and the opportunity to put his criminal past behind him, his friend R5 Homicide committed suicide right in the studio, which severely affected Problem Child's emotional state. In 2022, news broke of Problem Child's arrest, claiming that he was involved in 5 murders and the kidnapping of a child. However, this information turned out to be partially inaccurate and misleading. The source of this information was a series of 2022 tweets by Atlanta-based journalist George Chidi, who specialized in covering crime stories in the city. In these tweets, Chidi discussed the critical state of the Fulton County jail system, management challenges, and broader implications for the legal and political systems in Atlanta. In one tweet, he briefly discussed Michelle Gunn, also known as Problem Child, his ties to Future, Carti, DTE, and Homicide, and how he managed to sneak a cell phone and charger into the Fulton County Jail and live stream on Instagram while incarcerated. Most importantly, however, was the mention that Problem Child is accused of killing 5 people. The next day, Chidi clarified, reporting that Problem Child is actually charged with 5 counts of murder, but they all stem from the same incident, a murder committed by Chad Billingsley in October 2019. Thus, due to an inaccuracy in the initial report, Problem Child gained a reputation as a serial killer, which was not true. As can be seen from the information presented, conflicts between criminal gangs in Atlanta are a complex and violent reality that is reflected in the music industry. However, it is important to approach the coverage of such topics with caution and critical analysis to avoid the dissemination of misinformation. The influence of street culture and criminal gangs on the Atlanta hip-hop scene remains a significant factor shaping both the artist's work and their personal relationships. The stories of figures such as Playboi Carti, Problem Child, and Ola Runt demonstrate how closely intertwined the music world and the criminal environment are in this region. It is important to note that such conflicts and the violence associated with them should not be romanticized or glorified. They represent a serious social problem that requires the attention of society and law enforcement. In the context of the music industry, these events often become a source of inspiration for the creation of tracks and the formation of a certain image of artists. However, it is important to remember the real human tragedies behind these stories. A full understanding of the situation requires further research and analysis of the socio-economic factors leading to the formation and operation of such criminal gangs in Atlanta and other cities. Only a comprehensive approach to addressing these issues can help reduce violence and improve the overall situation. In conclusion, despite its controversial nature, Atlanta's hip-hop culture continues to be an important phenomenon in contemporary music, having a significant impact on the global scene. The challenge for society and the industry is to find a balance between the creative expression of artists and the need to counteract the negative aspects of street culture. That's all for today. Subscribe to the channel, leave comments, and give us likes. Bye everybody.